Number 5, Brian Burns. Last year, the same exact place that he was at number 5. Yeah, he's a top 5 outside linebacker in this league, no question about it. Um, Gets it done every single year. Athletic, athletic, has a way of just impacting the game. Definitely a huge impact for Carolina, and Carolina kind of traded him for a bag of chips. So I don't even understand why they even traded him for nothing, but they did. And with that, he is now in a new place. Definitely going to impact the new team that he's at. And you look at Brian Burns, 26 years old, 5 years in the league, 5 years, $141 million. When he got traded from Carolina to the Giants, they franchise tagged him. When the Giants picked him up, gave him a mega contract, Carolina said, don't want to do that. So that's where they're at. 16 games that he played, 50 tackles, 8 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, 2 pass deflections, and 9 stuffs. No Pro Bowl or nothing, which is weird. At the same time, still deserves his credit of being a top 5 guy, which he is. I think he's going to be great in New York with Kayvon Thibodeau. Yeah, I think it's just going to improve their defense by a wide margin. So overall, Carolina downgrade massively. Don't know why they traded him. Giants, they just get a great key piece to their defense, and you know he's going to do what he does. He's still young, so yeah, overall great outside linebacker. A leap in this top 10. You got number 8 last year, number 4 this year, Danielle Hunter. He's a guy that gets great season going. Then he has kind of a down year. Then he has a great season. Then he has a down year. This year was a great season for him. He's moved from D end to outside linebacker a lot, but this year outside linebacker, so that's where he's rated at. He is going to the Houston Texans, and he's going to improve Will Anderson Jr.'s playability, play style, and develop him nicely. I think a good mentor for him. And Daniil Hunter, along with a billion of free agent signings that they spent, this is a really good Houston Texan team that can make a push at a Super Bowl. Definitely a guy that you want on your team, and definitely a guy that was impactful in Minnesota. Danielle Hunter, 29 years old, 9 years in the league, 2 years, $49 million with the Houston Texans, 17 games played, 83 tackles, 16 and a half sacks, 4 forced fumbles, 2 pass deflections, and 9 stuffs for a Pro Bowl. Very well deserving. Definitely deserve of being a top 5 guy in this league. Last year at number 7, you could say he's an inside guy. He's playing outside though, so I'm gonna give him the outside linebacker position there. He's number 3 though in the league. Dre Greenlaw. Um, this is San Francisco 49ers. They are linebacker city. They produce some of the best linebackers known to man, definitely. And this is no question with Dre Greenlaw and his ability of being a partner and a great partner to Fred Warner. Great on this defense, impactful. Definitely a key loss when they lost the Super Bowl last year to the Chiefs. And so, it sucks. It really does. And with that injury, it's an Achilles injury, so he will be out for a while. Who knows when the timetable is? But the thing that's sad is that it's also his contract year. So let's take a look at Dre Greenlaw, 27 years old, 5 years in the league, 1 year, $8.7 million. So will they sign him back up? It's his contract year. Regardless, when he's healthy, he is one of the best. So probably should. But the Niners will have to figure out, are they going to pay him or are they going to pay Brock Purdy? So this is a team that's going to either A, get into cap hell and struggle, and for some people like myself, I wouldn't mind that. I think this team has been too good for a while. I know they haven't won anything, but I hate the 49ers. They look at Dre Greenlaw, 15 games played, 120 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 4 pass deflections, 4.5 stuffs. Against Green Bay, Detroit, and Kansas City, he had 18 tackles, 2 interceptions, 2 pass deflections, and 5 stuffs. A guy that definitely I could have seen an All Pro. He is going to be an All Pro and a Pro Bowler. Definitely very impactful player. Guy that you needed there. It's a huge loss for him for next year, but he's still top 3. 2, Micah Parsons. Last year, number 2 for DNs. He was a DN. This year's outside. So, it's kind of, where does he fit the bill? Right now, he's outside, though. Um, I mean, what else can I say about Michael Parsons at his age, so young, and being Defensive Player of the Year candidate, being an All-Pro, Pro Bowler? I mean, they definitely drafted a stud, and that's who he is. He's a stud. Great defensive player. Dallas has definitely had a tendency of drafting great defensive players. He's one of them. Yeah, Michael Parsons, man, special talent. I could definitely see him being the best at his position sooner rather than later. Right now, he's number 2, 25 years old, 3 years in the league, 2 years, $24.3 million in the deal, 17 games played, 64 tackles, 14 sacks, one forced fumble, one fumble recovery, 2 pass deflections, and 12 stuffs against Green Bay. Only 2 tackles, so kind of a non-factor in that game, but overall still a factor for the Cowboys. He was third in Defensive Player of the Year. He was a Pro Bowler, and he did make a second team All Pro. So overall, great year for him. Super deserving, all over the field. Like great linebacker, athletic, everything you need. So definitely deserving of being number 2. Best outside linebacker in the league, staying at number 1, T.J. Watt. Yeah, I mean, productive, triple team guy, double team guy, whatever you want to throw at him. Still gets sacks, still gets to the ball. Um, Definitely a very important player to Pittsburgh. Has been injured before, and that impacted them. Definitely had a solid year this year. Played all the games, so I mean that's great to see that his health being up to par there. And I mean he is a phenomenal football player. When you look at T.J. Watt, um, 29 years old, 7 years in the league. He's got 2 years, $42.1 million, 17 games played, 68 tackles, 19 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, 1 interception, 8 pass deflections, and 9 stuffs. Against the Bills in the wild card, 3 tackles, a sack, a fumble recovery, a pass deflection, and a stuff. He did pretty much everything that he could in his power to lead that team. It was the Bills; they were just a more superior team. You're looking at a guy that was a Pro Bowler, a first team All Pro, and don't mention the second in the Defensive Player of the Year voting. This man got robbed of it. As much as Myles Garrett is cool and has done his part and has been a pretty good DN. TJ Watt should have been Defensive Player of the Year this year. I think you could even make the case that he got robbed twice, but I'm going to say definitely this year he did get robbed. He should be a Defensive Player of the Year at some point. I mean, what more can you ask of the guy? Does everything amazingly. Um, and I mean, a huge valuable asset to the team. So the fact that he lost the Defensive Player of the Year this year, I think is uh, it's terrible. It's super ridiculous why he's not there as a Defensive Player of the Year. Almost, was like probably like 3 or 4 sacks away, something like that. 3 from almost tying Michael Strahan's regular season record. He's gonna do it eventually. I do believe it could be this year, but the fact that this man gets disrespected is crazy, given that he is one of the better defenders in the league, and he is the best outside linebacker in the league.